We're going to have the agenda review session Wednesday, November 2nd, in Brunswick City Council. We have ordinances on first reading. 601, ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinance of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 1016, Stopping, Standing, or Parking. Add a new subsection, 1626-260, Car Share Vehicle Parking. 602, in ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinance of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 1020, Handicap Parking, Section 10-2010, Section 39, Parking Zones for Handicapped Persons, adding 3, 97 Troop Avenue, 62 Richardson Street, 184 Fulton Street. 603, ordinance to amend and supplement the revised ordinance of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicle and Traffic, Schedule AA, Loading Zones, Prospect Street. 604, notice to amend and supplement the revised ordinance of the City of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Schedule 38, Time Limit Parking Areas, Hamilton Street. Resolutions. 601, approve agenda amendment. 602, approve payroll. 603, authorize refund for redeemed tax sale certificates. 604, approve request for use of city property and closure of streets, requested by Rutgers University of New Brunswick Recreation. Bugalo Park and various streets, the Big Chill, 5K road race to raise funds for Christmas gifts for underprivileged children, food banks, soup kitchens, and Feed the Hungry programs in New Brunswick. Street closure, College Avenue between Bartlett and Cedar Street, date Saturday, December 3rd, 2016. Time 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Park, street closure, 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. Police extra duty. 605, approve request for solicitation of funds requested by the Salvation Army of New Brunswick for help relieving our community, date November 25, 2016, December 24, 2016. Specific locations, dates, and times: Monument Square tree lighting, December 2nd, 2016, from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Hyatt Regency Carriage Rides Pickup, December 16, 18, 2016, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Corner of Route 27 and George Street, November 25, 2016, December 24, 2016. Fridays from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturdays from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Corner of Commercial Avenue and George Street, November 25th, 2016, December 24th. Fridays from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturdays from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. all of 2016. 606, resolution to authorize refund of park fee with Donra Siri for refund for parking event due to inclement weather. The amount is $300. 607, approve authorization to advertise. Furnish and deliver recycling and trash rollout containers. Specification number 57016P. 608, approve award of contracts with LexisNexis Risk Solutions for online access to accident reports for the police department. The term is 12-month period commencing November 20th to November 19th, 2016, and ending November 18th, 2017. Specification number 56516RFP. Fair and open. 609, approve another resolution R 081656, reason to pay additional legal fees in the amount of $1,334.50 to Benedict and Altman for Police Director Anthony Caputo in the matter of Arthur Anderson versus Anthony Caputo from $16,889.50 to $18,224. 610, approve award of contract Gold Pipe Business Machine doing business as GTBN. The 15, proprietary software license for the police department. Term is 12-month period commencing August 1st, 2016, and ending July 31st, 2017. Not to exceed $9,944. Non-post pump. 611, approve resolution to refer proposed zoning ordinance to the planning board for review and report. Landing Lane. 612, approve award of contracts for printing and binding of various forms for the municipal court with Mariano Press LLC for items 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, not to exceed $16,420. With Concept Printing Incorporated, for items 1 and 5, not to exceed $11,142. Term is 12-month period commencing November 3rd, 2016, and ending November 2nd, 2017. Specification number 53716PR. 613, approve request for solicitation of funds, request by Rutgers University Dance Marathon to benefit from Grace Kids Foundation. The date is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, October 28, 30, non-pro pump. November 4th, 6th, 11th, 13th, 18th, 20th, 2016, December 2, 4, 9, 11, 2016. Time is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Location is George and Barrett Streets, George and Church Streets, George and Albany Streets, George and Commercial Avenue, George Street, Nickel Avenue, George Street and Livingston Avenue, George and Liberty Streets, and Riders Lane and Dudley Road. 614, to authorize tax collector to transfer credits on several tax and utility accounts. 615, authorized shared service agreement, 3-year with Middlesex County Paint Collection Program, January 1st, 2017 to December 31st, 2019. 616, authorized shared service agreement, 3-year with Middlesex County for CFC Recovery Program, term January 1, 2017, December 31st, 2019. Excuse me. 617, approve amendment resolution R 101615 to pay additional legal fees in the amount of $3,740 to benefit in office. The police director, Anthony Caputo, in the matter of Steve Middleton versus City of New Brunswick, from $14,969 to $18,709. 618, approve amendment of resolution R 011641, using additional engineering and support services for the water utility in the amount of $30,000 with Mott McDonald Group Incorporated, doing business as Mott McDonald LLC, for 2016 engineering and support services for the water utility, not to exceed $30,000. 619, approve award of contract with B&W Construction Company of New Jersey for equipment and labor for the 24-month period commencing November 3rd, 2016, and November 2nd, 2018. Specification number 561-16D, not to exceed $390,000. 620, resolution authorizing budget transfer to 2016 municipal budget. 621, authorized execution of professional service contract with CGP&H LLC for program manager for housing rehabilitation program. Term is 2 years from November 1st, 2016 to October 31st, 2018, not pro com. 622, authorized refund to Women Aware in the amount of $1,080,172 against water account number 160,00860,00. 623, approve amendment resolution R 101608 to pay additional legal fees in the amount of $39,738.80 to file a law firm. Special counsel, City of New Brunswick versus Brunswick Construction, from $155,239.91 to $194,978.71. 624, approve award of contract with Elijah Farms Incorporated for food preparation service for the Brunswick Senior Citizen Resource Center. Terms October 18, 2016, April 17, 2017, not to exceed $29,671.87, non-pro com. 625, approve the resolution R 101664, change order number 1 with Joe Med Contracting Corporation for 2015 sanitary sewer improvements project, phase 2A, specification number 89515A, the amount is $11,299.56. Approval of change order will not constitute an increase of 20% or more of the amount of the original contract. 626, approve amendment of resolution R 11165, change order number 4, Joe Med Contracting Corp. 2015 sanitary sewer improvements project, phase 2A, specification number 89515A, the amount is $118,960.60. Approval of this change order will constitute an increase of 20% or more of the original contract. 627, approve amendment to resolution R 111626, change order number 5, with Joe Med Contracting Corporation for 2015 sanitary sewer improvements project, phase 2A, specification number 89515A, the amount is $16,738.25. Approval of this change order will constitute an increase of 20% or more of the amount of the original contract. 628, approve amendment to resolution R 191675, reason to pay additional fees in the amount of $13,917.63 to Warren Pro LLC for professional engineering expert services for City of New Brunswick versus Marback Construction Corporation, from $42,358.84 to $56,276.47. 629, approve amendment of resolution R 091640, change order number 3, final, with the Lane Contracting Corporation for Railroad Avenue Pump Station improvements, specification number 84614R, the amount is $398.62. Approval of this change order will not constitute an increase of 20% or more of the amount of the original contract. 630, approve amendment of resolution R 071685, change order number 3, credit final, with the Lane Contracting Corporation for library pump station improvements, specification number 893-15. The credit amount is $287,208.47. Approval of this change order will not constitute an increase of 20% or more of the amount of the original contract. 631, approve request to use the city property sidewalk only requested by UNDOCU Rutgers, location beginning at Broward Common steps in front of Rutgers Student Center, walk on College Avenue sidewalks to the Yard Residence Hall on the corner of College Avenue and Albert Street. For I am an immigrant cause. Date Tuesday, November 1st, 2016. Time is 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Not pro tem. 632, approve amendment of resolution R 101668. Pay partial payment of final invoice and reallocation to different account with Land Associates Engineering Services for boiler and air conditioning replacement at City Hall, not to exceed $755, specification number 790, 11 RFP-R1 rebid. 633, approve amendment resolution R 041685, reason to pay additional legal fee, pay additional amount of $27,750 with P. Louis Kennels Incorporated for kennel service for the Division of Animal Control, not to exceed $27,750. Approval of this change order will constitute an increase of 20% more of the original contract. Items discussed by council. That's it. Now going to the regular meeting. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Escobar.
Here.
Council Vice President Fleming.
Here.
Councilmember Garlotti is absent. Council President Egan.
Here. Please be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been complied with and satisfied, and that the annual notice, which gave sufficient notice of the time and place and conduct of all public meetings of the municipal council of the city of New Brunswick, has been filed with the city clerk, has been placed on an appropriate form to the lobby of City Hall in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and has been transmitted to the official newspaper of the city of New Brunswick, namely the Home News Tribune. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we'll have a moment of silence for our men and women serving in our armed forces. Our men and women in our armed forces who lost their lives in battle or conflict. We have minutes for August 17, 2016. Can I get a motion on the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Council Vice President Fleming.
Yes.
Council President Egan.
Yes. We have ordinances on first reading. 601, ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinance of the city of New Brunswick. Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 1016, Stopping, Standing, or Parking, and a new subsection, 1626-260, Car Share, Vehicle Parking.
Will the ordinance setting down Wednesday, November 16, 2016 at 6:30 p.m., the same date to be advertised. Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Council Vice President Fleming.
Yes.
Council President Egan.
Yes. 602, the ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinance of the city of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 1020, Handicap Parking, Section 102010, Schedule 39, Parking Zones for Handicapped Persons, adding 3, 97 Troop Avenue, 62 Richardson Street, 184 Fulton Street.
Will the ordinance setting down Wednesday, November 16, 2016 at 6:30 p.m., same date to be advertised. Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Council Vice President Fleming.
Yes.
Council President Egan.
Yes. 603, the ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinance of the city of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Schedule 8A, Loading Zones, Prospect Street.
Will the ordinance setting down Wednesday, November 16, 2016 at 6:30 p.m., same date to be advertised. Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Council Vice President Fleming.
Yes.
Council President Egan.
Yes. 604, in order to amend and supplement the revised general ordinance of the city of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Schedule 38, Time Limit Parking Areas, Hamilton Street.
Will the ordinance setting down Wednesday, November 16, 2016, 6:30 p.m., same date to be advertised. Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Council Vice President Fleming.
Yes.
Council President Egan.
Yes. We have resolutions this evening. We have resolutions 601 to 633. Anybody from the public wishing to comment on any of the particular resolutions this evening, please step right up to the microphone. Anybody on the resolutions? Yes, please, sir.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, members of the council. My name is Charles Prattville. I live in Brunswick. I'm the editor of New Brunswick Today. I wanted to start by drawing attention to number 9 and I guess number 17 are in both cases more legal bills for the police director who doesn't think it's important enough to show up at these meetings. I think that the council would be wise to request, at the very least, that Mr. Caputo join us so that he can explain these rising legal bills and why it's so important that we keep fighting the case for them. Also like to ask about number 10. It's a proprietary software license. Can you tell me what the purpose of the software is?
Captain?
The software supports mobile data terminals in the police department.
Like computers, basically, with laptops?
Yes.
Okay, so you have to pay for each license, I guess, and that's the, is there a name for the software, or I just didn't see one here?
Captain, is your name for the software?
I don't know.
Okay. Guess
No,
no license.
that's what it supports. I don't know the name of
Okay. Can you tell me, number 11, what's going on with Landing Lane, and why are you referring something to the planning board?
Mr. Patterson?
And this is referring to the planning board, the R1A zone, which is currently a single-family zone. It's where the Johnson & Johnson retreat house is. Looking to try to bring that into conformance with what the property is actually used for, which is a corporate retreat for Johnson & Johnson, to reflect that actual use, and also down zone the area so that there's less development that would be allowed on that area than is currently allowed.
Thank you, sir.
Just to follow up, would the only property affected be that J&J spot, or are there other properties that will be affected by this?
I
Mr. Patterson?
don't know what property Mr. Credible is referring to.
Oh, he's asking, is there any other properties besides the J&J?
It's where there's technically two lots there, but it's the J&J retreat house.
They're both owned by
They're both owned by J&J.
Thank you. I'd like to ask about, again, more additional engineering and support services for Mott McDonald Group.
What number, Mr. Patterson, please?
Sorry, 18, $30,000.
18,
Can you tell me what that's for?
Director?
Yes, sir. If you'll recall, we had a couple of unanticipated projects that I thought it prudent to proceed with before going into next year's fiscal budget. In particular, we want to get out the bid for the asbestos work that needs to be done. In addition, we also need to have engineering work done on the distribution garage roof, which is leaking badly, and the prices exceed the bid limit for that.
And that's at the main site, Comstock Street site?
Correct.
Thank you. Number 21, is this the company that the city was required to hire by the federal government?
Housing, yes, Mr. Patterson?
No, it's not. We weren't required to hire anybody by the federal government. This is the company that we've been using for the past 2 years for this program, and have used for some time before that also. We think they've done a good job and are the best contractor out there.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson.
Okay. 23 and 28. Is the city doing anything to control these vast accumulating expenses for this one case? It's up to almost $200,000 for legal fees, but then you're also got to pay your expert witness, and they're up to $56,000. I know I bring it up repeatedly, but what's the plan? What's the plan to stop this from getting more expensive?
Well, everybody on the council is asking about it, because we do see the amounts that are coming in. And Mr. Shammy has a very good explanation of why we're spending this money. He believes, Mr. Lockman, they believe that we're fighting a good case. Mr. Shammy may elaborate on it more because he's involved, if you have anything to add.
Well, I've been saying for months and months since this matter first came to light and we got sued 5 more back, that the bills will be high. And, the claims are very, very significant. $1.7 million is what they're claiming in damages. And these bills now represent trial time or hearing time that the lawyers are in and the experts are in. So actually it's a situation where I monitor the bills, I monitor the expenses, but experts and lawyers cost money, unfortunately. So
Can I ask a question? I know this is going to be decided by an arbitrary one. We say, who's ever in favor? Are we able to recoup any of the legal fees, or that's not possible in this type of
In
case?
this type of form, there is no recourse to collect legal fees or costs by the successful party.
Okay.
And the other aspect of it is, this particular form is a binding decision.
Yeah, so
We
when-
can't appeal, so this is our only chance to defend the matter and try to prevail at this level, because if we don't, obviously, the damage is sought or far in excess of the amount that we're spending.
And
Yes, Mr. Crabbe.
I just, is there a expected time frame that the case should wrap up during, or is this a perpetual thing?
Well, quite frankly, we thought the case would be over by now, but the number of witnesses that have been called by both sides it's kind of gotten a little more extended, and the dates will probably, hopefully be done by the end of this month. And then the panel who hears all the evidence has a couple months to make a decision. So I don't suspect we're going to have a decision until into next year.
Thank you.
Can you tell me, have any of you guys been, have any of you guys testified?
No, me personally, no, we haven't been asked to testify.
Well, has the mayor?
No.
No.
Okay. Can you, I guess just sum it up for me, what's the city accused of doing? Why are there grounds for this matter?
Well, this is the sanitary sewer, I believe, on Lee and Remsen Avenue, correct?
Remsen Avenue.
Remsen Avenue, and, you know, they're saying they did perform work that they should get paid for, or maybe Mr. Lockwood can explain a little better than me,
I'll
and
give you
we're
a-
fighting that claim.
Don't hold me to the exact date, but 5 or 6 years ago, Marbeck was the low bidder on the Remsen Avenue project. Full extent of their work was mobilizing and setting up a construction office. We got into disputes about the amount of shale that had to be removed. We got into disputes and some engineering discussions about changing the configuration of the storm sewer. We're once supposed to line the brick-lined existing sewer and rehabilitate it. We ended up making some engineering changes that caused new pipe to be run down Remsen Avenue, and the old chamber was filled with concrete. Nonetheless, Marbeck performed nothing on the job and was asked to leave after repeated attempts to get them to perform under the contract. They were removed in writing. We went out to bid again. The low bidder ended up being Carbro. Carbro performed the work, did the job. I think that probably took maybe a year or two to accomplish all of that. 5 years later, Marbeck submits a demand for lost profit and lost opportunities on the job. Essentially, that's the summary of it. And it was, I'm sorry? It was critical for us to defend that position. Why should they get $1.7 million because they were asked to leave the job for non-performance? I know the bills run up and they're very high, and no one's particularly happy about it, but the recourse was to just roll over and issue them a check for $1.7 million for them having done nothing on the job other than put up a construction trailer.
I understand. Thank you.
Thank you for the thorough answers. And I would just close with a suggestion. I think that, you know, in the future, the city would be in a better position if the matters were taken to the court across the street, because if the city's truly in the right and didn't do anything wrong, the public would be able to see it if it were in a public courtroom. But because it's in arbitration, it's, you know, we don't know what's going on there. We can't hear the evidence. We can't hear the testimony. We can't really get, you know, verification of this.
Well, as a news reporter, I feel for you, Mr. President.
Thank you, and it is tough, and I think that, you know, I know it was said at the previous meeting that it's a generally sort of a standard thing in engineering contracts to have arbitration be the default. I would suggest that the city, you know, reconsider that going forward, And in the future, when you're entering into a big contract with a big company, you should probably not allow them to force you into this binding arbitration. And that's just a constructive suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else on the resolutions this evening? Anybody on the resolutions? Seeing nobody? A motion for the resolutions? 601 to 633. Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Council Vice President Fleming.
Yes, but abstaining on 17.
So
So
noted.
noted.
Council President Egan.
Yes. We'll now move to the public portion of the meeting. Anybody from the audience would like to address this council, please come on up. Anybody like to address the council this evening? Please come on up.
Danielle, I'm meeting with Rutgers. First, I would like to thank the city council members, the city workers, our city engineer, and the Brunswick Police Department, who took me seriously about this new marking, like is it a pirate or treasure X or whatever, where they took me serious, and I thank you for calling me for the next day, because it was surely worrisome and never seen a marking like that for PSC&G or for gas, but excuse me, I'm just in pain right now. And I thank you for calling me the next day and telling me that that's a major, big contract due to where they're supposed to be removing replacing large gas pipes for Livingston Avenue going down. But I just still got to thank you for letting me know, because people were worried what that symbol was really for. And then also where I did get a good laugh, I didn't mean to scare you, Mr. Weaver, due to where, I normally don't sit next to you, how you got a little nervous. I got a good laugh with you over there. But, yes, one reason why is I did give you a warning, because I'm coming toward you tonight. That's where I'm very upset due to where Mr. Weaver, he's wearing his shirt about the New Brunswick Raiders. I give it all to them, Mr. Weaver, all the coaches, the parents, with their volunteer so much of their money, and how they say the city makes it so hard where they can't get permission to collect donations. You have to have a permit or a signed paper saying that you got to collect donations. I would like to find out tonight, wow, why is it okay for the homeless to have their sign? Ooh, can I have $1 or two? I'm disabled. Can I have $1 all through George Street, French Street? So why is it possible for?
They're asking, if you looked at the minutes today, the Salvation Army is requesting to collect donations. They put it, they have to see.
So okay, you're saying what if the president of the New Brunswick Raiders, if they put it in for a permit that all year long, there would be no situation with collecting donations?
Sure.
I know because my sons play also, not for the Raiders, but that's called tagging. And in any town that we got to do tagging, all you do is get a permit, and they're allowed to tag in front of these various organizations, various stores and stuff like that.
So, okay, the president for the New Brunswick Raiders just comes down here, get a permit, and there won't be no problem collecting donations.
Nope.
Because like I said, wow, what wonderful co-coaches do to where they won the championship, New Brunswick Raiders championship.
All they gotta do is ask, like the Salvation Army's in here, they're asking too, to collect money during Christmas. Yes, Mr. Teresa.
Any organization that wants a permit to do that type of collecting has to have proof from the state of New Jersey of their nonprofit or not-for-profit status. And the Raiders may not have that permit, or we have not been presented with that notice from the state of New Jersey. Therefore, we cannot issue a permit.
So like I said, would I get locked up if I went to the corner with a treasure box, oh, I'm collecting donations for the Raiders? Would I get locked up with a secured box? Because like I said, wow, you've got plenty of them who do it out there every day, and what, they don't get arrested?
I don't know the answer to that question. I'm not an attorney.
I can't answer that. Yeah, yes, Mr.
Mr. Shammy, I think
Well,
that's two different
An
things.
individual could solicit for money for his or her own benefit. You see it go on in Brunswick and other towns. But I think what the clerk is referring to is a not-for-profit organization that seeks to raise money. 5013C is what it's called. And raise money and say that you're raising money for an organization, you have to have that not-for-profit
It's
status.
very easy to get it. Just get it from the state of New Jersey to show that they're not-for-profit.
Well, okay, I will look
All
into,
they gotta do is get that sort of piece of paper from the state, and then they issue that, give that to the clerk when they ask for the permit, and they're able to raise funds.
well, okay, I surely will look into that through Mr. Weaver, also Mr. Weaver, and thank you, because like I said, wow, I noticed this year, wow, they did so good, and I noticed that, like I said, give love to the coaches, the parents, where they really put money out of their pocket due to where I hear that the city wouldn't give any help to them with that. But okay, my other thing, that's with Mr. Weaver, due to where I noticed for the past year or so, you had a water main break, a small one, on Joyce Comer Avenue, right outside of Verizon Wireless Company. Due to where recently, where my main concern is, I noticed a major water main break is going to the road. My main concern, is it possible this could be taken care of on a weekend due to where you have a school there? Will this affect the students' water there? Traffic-wise, safety for everything?
You know, we're addressing that project on Friday. We'll have police escorts there for traffic control.
Would that be Friday afternoon, evening?
We'll be starting Friday morning.
So will that water affect the school there?
We don't anticipate a shutdown. It's a 20-inch line that has one of the seals is starting to come loose on it. That's our anticipation. So we actually had a little trouble finding the leak. When water comes up, it's not necessarily an indication of where the actual break or the leak is. So we had a leak detection crew out last Wednesday evening, I believe it was, could have been Thursday, to actually pinpoint where the leak is coming from, and we have a crew scheduled to do the work on Friday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, okay, now 2 more major incidents. That's where, okay, I think it's time for the city to look at the engineer, the police department. Wow, we see that Livingston Avenue in the same zone is getting to be very dangerous again. Wow, was that this morning, Livingston and Sanford, you had a car accident? It was close to school hours, but yes, remind you, 3 weeks ago, you had one on Livingston and Comstock. So like I said, I hope you put a little more attention now. I'm not saying due to where Delavan is open then, but as you're waiting there, I will show I'll be ready for traffic tomorrow with the pictures and everything. But yes, due to where you're waiting there to make a turn, how you really have the traffic standing there, making it difficult, and then you have people impatient trying to turn once again, and then cause an accident? Like I said, believe me, the principal of Livingston School, he said he's willing to speak up. Wow, due to where once you had Delavan closed, no turning there after school hours, it was so much safer. And like I said, to prove the point, I don't know if you remember, but yes, with the girl getting hit by a bicycle, drag. So please, if you get injured by bicycle, why are you still allowing the cars to continue there? Due to where the kids are used to walking across now, due to where the road used to be closed, now it's open. Now you have kids coming out this way. Now you have the crossing guard where she has to jump this way. I mean, that road really meant a lot, and I hope you will be closed again to understand what I'm really saying about the turning and having that road open there. I meant it's very dangerous again. That's where I was told with the police department, Lieutenant Trigg, that's where they said it's not their responsibility to close the road, that it's the Board of Education's responsibility, and I'm working on with the Board of Education due to where they said they don't have enough security guards, but I'm speaking this for a good reason due to where so many close calls. So I hope the Board of Education and the police department can really look into this. Like I said, 3 things within the last 3 or 4 weeks. Please do something. And then also that's with Lee Avenue again, where with speed bumps, where I'm trying to understand. You said that you need a petition to get permission to put speed bumps in front of a person's house? Is that how it goes?
Goes to the traffic commission first.
Okay, but no, my question is that the reason for a petition to ask for permission to put it in front of a person's house, owner's house? Because see, one thing I'm trying to figure out due to where this should be easy to put in for speed bumps due to where from Lee and Ward all the way to Lee and Rutgers, you have no houses that are directly on Lee Avenue. All those houses, it's blank for Lee Avenue, those are sideways, and like I said, I will present the pictures to traffic, if the Lord willing, let me make it down here tomorrow. But yes, due to where I don't see how this would be a bad problem with putting speed bumps down, getting permission from who? It won't be in front of anyone's house. So I hope you do respond soon, because that was 2 weeks ago, Lee and Ellen Street. You had a bad crash. You had to cut the person out of it, which I will present the pictures tomorrow.
You can go to the traffic commission.
Oh, like I said, Lord willing, yes, I pray that I do, and I will have all the pictures for them tomorrow. But yes, due to where, like I said, another accident, Lee and Ellen Street. So thank you. Like I said, I hope you look into, like I said, excuse me the way I'm talking, but yes, I hope you will look into the things, because it's very serious. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else like to address the council this evening? Yes, sir.
Good evening once again, Charles Cradaville. I want to just encourage everybody who can to vote on Tuesday. Regardless of who you're voting for, it's important to go and vote. I want to correct something Mr. Shammy said. It's a little ironic. People actually are not allowed to ask for money in large sections of New Brunswick because of an ordinance he wrote, and you guys passed. So I just think that's a little incorrect what was stated. I want to share with you something I saw today on the internet. It was a woman who shared a photo. She said it was of her niece, Emily, and she said that this woman was at a party Friday night in New Brunswick and got punched in the face by a guy named Chris, and that she ended up with a concussion, fractured skull, brain bleeding, and is in very bad shape at a hospital. And the woman's very concerned for Emily's health and asking for prayers and pleading with people to help the police find her attacker. And she's asking people to call Detective Quick at 732-745-5217, extension 5. And I just want to ask if this is correct. Was there a serious assault on a woman Friday night at a party in New Brunswick?
Captain?
Yes.
Yes.
And with all due respect, why is the aunt of the victim the one who's spreading the word about it and not the police department? Why wasn't the community made aware of this incident and this investigation, the fact that they need help?
Captain?
We can't control what family members do. A lot of times their emotions, put them in their own direction. We have that case under control. There's no danger to the public. I'm not going to divulge, information behind the investigation, but we have it fully under control.
Thank you, Captain.
And he also has the other 3 aggravated assaults that happened in other neighborhoods on the following night under control.
Which one are you referring to?
The 3 that were publicized not by the New Brunswick Police Department, but by the Rutgers Police Department. They're NBPD investigations, but the NBPD didn't publicize
Can
them.
you give me specific things that you're speaking about? So maybe
I know what I was talking about.
you know about it?
Yeah, the Detective Bureau has it. They're fully being investigated.
I've said this before, I can't for the life of me figure out why crimes that happen in some parts of town get publicized, but we're left guessing about what's happened everywhere else in town. Rutgers Police is doing a good thing by communicating whenever there's a serious crime in the 5th and 6th wards to the residents. I don't understand why New Brunswick Police can't do the same for everyone else in New Brunswick. Do we not deserve the same? Do the victims not deserve the same attention being put on these matters? This is serious stuff. If somebody was really harmed this badly, I think that, don't you agree that the public should know?
Yes, Captain.
The victims are getting full attention and everything that the case deserves. Just because, a reporter doesn't get everything he wants, that's not the thing, but the victims are getting all the attention that they deserve.
Okay. I'm more so asking the council for your opinions about what you think is right here, and I think that, I just think, transparency is important when we're dealing with public safety. People need to understand the crimes that are happening and how to not become a victim, and I think, quite frankly, there's 2 very different approaches. Rutgers Police's transparent approach, New Brunswick Police's, which is usually to not publicize the crime unless they've made an arrest already. And you can just look at the city website and see the press releases that are shared. It's only a fraction of the actual crimes going on, and I think that's not fair to the public. Can I ask?
Captain has a comment, yes,
I
Captain.
think we've spoken about this before. I'm under the opinion that publicizing stuff too early can be detrimental to the investigation. I think we've seen time and time again where we can publish the arrest down the road, and I think Mr. Brattle thinks that we're bragging, but that's not the case. Where you're entitled to information that you're not, we know what's going on, we're moving the investigation ahead. When the arrest is made, we're happy to publicize it then, but sometimes putting information out too soon. And I'll say that there are, of those other three referenced, there's things that I cannot talk about because they would destroy the investigation. And there's no need to put it out, we have it under control.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think the department could do better in terms of transparency. I thank the captain for his answers. Can I ask, who controls the surveillance cameras that are attached to this building? The ones that are pointed on the City Hall lot?
Controls the surveillance cameras?
Yeah, is it the police or is it City Hall?
No, it's City Hall,
City Hall does, okay. And so.
on this building.
Right, can you tell me what the retention time is? How long do you save those videos?
I don't know, I'm gonna guess 30 days, but I don't know, I'll have to look into that for you.
Okay, thank you, I'd appreciate that. And do you know if you have the capacity to save recordings long-term or permanent? If, should they be?
For the same cameras?
Yeah, those cameras.
Well, I don't think we'll have the answers for you tonight, Mr. Crowder. So why don't you send Mr. Lockman an email or ask him after the meeting what exactly you're looking for. And I think, is that okay with you guys? Get the information that way?
Fair
I don't
enough.
think he has the information on the surveillance cameras.
I just figured it might have come up before. You might have needed to save one of the videos. I'm not sure if he knows offhand, but I'll follow up with him. Can you tell me how many city employees are currently suspended?
Currently suspended?
Yes.
Mr. Lockman, do you?
Well, if you just allow us to respond to your Oprah request, I'll get you that answer. There's one pending, right?
Yeah,
For
correct. I have that.
suspensions with or without pay, and I'm very close to submitting that information to the city clerk.
I'm sure-
Offhand, I believe the number is 3.
Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you.
Thank you.
There was I guess a party on Morris Street that the police believe led to a shooting. Can you tell me where was that party?
You're speaking of, there was a what?
Some dispute at a party that led to a car being shot up.
You say it's on Morris Street, Captain?
I don't remember the exact address off my head. Could give me a message tomorrow, I'll see if I can find out for you. I remember the exact address, I think it was in the 50s, I'm not sure.
Okay. And is it true there was a robbery today on Redmond Street, or people arrested today on Redmond Street for around 2 p.m.?
Captain?
I haven't got the reports for today yet, I have no idea.
Okay. Forgive me for all the questions. I wanted to ask about how the parking out back works. I know obviously we can park here for a government meeting, and even the freeholders give permission to park here on when they have their meetings. Can you tell me, what are the policies during the business day about who's allowed to park here?
I believe it's a permit parking that's going here. Mr. Lockwood, I think would know.
Our employees have hang tags, and of course the spaces are open for the public, for those who are doing business at this building.
Okay. So spaces are open for the public that need to do business here, whether to see the city clerk or the warden department.
And then it converts to a pay lot, in the evening hours.
And is it monitored still by the New Brunswick Parking Authority?
Say that again?
New Brunswick Parking Authority?
They own and manage the lot.
Yes, Parking Authority owns and manages that lot, the city hall lot.
Okay, so some, but not all employees get hang tags to park there.
I would think all the employees that work at City Hall.
Yes, we have employees who park at the deck over at Joyce Kilmer and New Street. And we have people who park down below Civic Square, just a handful of spaces there. But anyone who works at City Hall, we have issued a hang tag.
Thank you.
Okay, so that would include Mr. Shammy?
Mr. Shannon? Yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
And so hypothetically speaking, if Mr. Shammy were, doing work for his private law firm, it would be inappropriate for him to use the parking permit to get free parking in City Hall and then go work in the courthouse all day, right?
Mr. Crowder, what's your question?
That was it. Yeah, would it be inappropriate for Mr. Shammy to do that?
The intention of the hang tag is that people are free to park out back when they're on city business. That's the intention. I have a pretty good feel for where Mr. Cradwell's going with this, but that's the intention.
So it would be inappropriate for someone to park here while they're not doing city work during the business day.
Right, he's the city attorney for the city of New Brunswick. He uses the parking lot here. Do you have a proof or something that he was in the courthouse while his car was parked there? I don't understand.
If you'll allow me to elaborate, so at 9:06 a.m. this morning, I saw a vehicle, a big truck. It doesn't belong to Mr. Shammy, it belongs to his somebody at his law firm who also works for the city. And I believe that person had a matter across the street in the county courthouse, a matter I don't believe had anything to do with the city government today. That person went back to their car at 12:06, straight from the courthouse, and then went home for lunch, and then came back and parked here again, and then went somewhere for lunch, and then came back and went back to privately representing a client, and then came back here after 4 p.m. And arrived back here at 4:08. So that's like the whole business day, and the person had a hang tag for City Hall. It was number 123. Can you tell me who that belongs to?
No,
Parking permit 123.
not at this time. But we do have people that have hang tags that have park here that work in the county building across the street.
This isn't the county building, this would be the courthouse, and he'd be representing private clients. I believe at Mr. Shammy's firm, and I don't know, is there a spot that's reserved for former police directors in the rear? Do they get lifetime parking? Is there a spot for the Oprah attorney to park? Are they allowed to park right next to the
You got
big police vehicle?
Mr. Crabbe, we will look into it. You got us dead to rights here.
Okay, so.
I see where you're going here. I understand what your theory is or your question, and we'll look into it. We'll see.
Okay, and if I request through Oprah those surveillance tapes, will that be provided to me?
If you're allowed to have them through the Oprah, then you'll get them, sure.
And who will make that decision?
One of our attorneys, I believe.
Is it the same one with the truck?
It's not my truck, so if I can make the decision, I don't think there's a conflict there.
There would be a conflict, even though you guys you work at the same law firm? He's your of counsel at your private law firm?
Wayne's doing it. But
Just in the
he has a
future.
name tag. I can verify that, the park at City Hall, just as I'm doing.
Right, well, not when you're doing private clients, right?
Well, I'm at City Hall every day, sir.
So listen, your time is up, sir. Thank you very much.
New Millennium Bank's not far, let them park there. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, so my bad.
Yes, sir.
I want to first start by asking a question. Are you comfortable with Captain Miller's response to the young lady being knocked unconscious, brain bleeding, and still in the hospital, with the family reaching out to social media? This is the first I heard of it. I could come here without a pen and a pad. You guys always give me material. Reaching out to social media. And his response is, we're handling it. Now, if the person is still at large, and it wasn't an all-out bulletin to get someone apprehended, then he's not handling it. And if the public wasn't aware, then that is a problem. Because if that was a police officer who had been knocked unconscious, brain bleeding, and he was in the hospital, and that person got away, do you think that his response would be that? Do you think that he would respond in the same manner he did tonight if that was a police officer in the same condition as that young lady is in right now? And would you have to accept it? And would you accept that response?
Mr. Pittman, I believe Mr. or Captain was answering to the best of his ability. I don't think he should. I mean, he didn't show enough emotion when he was saying, I think he would have to, I can't speak for his feelings at a certain period of time, how somebody's going to feel. So I can't, I mean, that'd be, you know, you just can't do that, I don't think, in court of law. I can't express how you would feel or not feel.
No, forget his feelings. Forget his feelings.
I think you would have gave the
No,
same answer.
elaborate on
He
his.
would have gave the same
Hold
answer,
on.
I believe he would have.
You believe he would have gave the same answer?
Yes.
Wholeheartedly. Okay. So, wow, that's crazy. I'll leave that alone because I think you sound crazy right now.
Okay.
I think you sound crazy insinuating that he would give the same answer if a police officer was sitting in here. And listen, and you come here to a council meeting and you find out, if you had no idea that a police officer was in Robert Wood Johnson Hospital, brain bleeding, you had no idea, there was no media, no outlet, nothing whatsoever to indicate that the officer was harmed. And you're saying that that would be the right approach to handle. That would be the way to go about this situation. You just sat down and somebody said, yeah, officer such and such is in the hospital. You had no idea. Nobody mentioned it, put it out there, and he said, we're handling it. And the person is still at large. That's the proper way to handle it. You're going to sit there and say that? Well, mind you, she has a camera right there. She has a camera right there. So that young lady is getting the proper amount of attention. You stating? You telling me that?
I'm not telling you, you didn't ask me that. That's not what you
I'm
asked me.
asking that.
That's not what you asked me. I don't know that answer, sir.
In response to the Pop Warner Raiders, I'm under the impression, and I could be wrong, they did win the championship, and I'm proud of them. It's good, you know, they beat, what was it, Saraville, I think? 13-6. I made my business to come to the game, and it was a real good, tough fought game. I'm proud of the young men from New Brunswick. But I'm also under the impression, if I'm not mistaken, that most municipalities fund their Pop Warner organizations. If I'm not mistaken.
The one I know that does, that funds it, that I'm aware of is Piscataway. All the other ones are privately funded.
Yeah, the private
But the only
organization.
ones I know, Piscataway has someone that actually does it, and he gets paid to run it, and I believe they're the only municipality
Are you
that.
directing that as far as Middlesex County rarely does, or just?
The only one I know of in the area is Piscataway that does it, sir.
And a lot of teams want to keep their autonomy, so they don't want cities to run it because they're private organizations. And if the city ran it, they wouldn't have their own structure inside, and they don't want that. There's a reason for that.
Okay. For the donation aspect, is the city allowed to make contributions to the Pop Warner organization?
That's a good question. Mr. Shammy?
Not with public funds, and you have to be some type of grant perhaps that they got to use for youth sports, things like that. Or through the youth sports program, through the parks perhaps.
Not with public funds, it would have to be some type of grant or something like that, that we'd have to look into.
And are they?
I don't know at this time, I don't know.
Okay.
Have to look into that.
Okay. Real quick, last meeting, Captain Miller said, he gave me one of the names of the two officers that I had an incident with, Nicholas Del Falco, and what's the other officer name? I only know the last name.
Captain?
Anthony Jones.
Anthony Jones.
Yeah.
And how long have they been on the force? How long has Nicholas Del Falco been on the force?
Captain?
5 years, 8 months, and Jones, 9 months.
9
He
months.
left your voicemail today, the next
No.
day. But
He never
I'll tell
called.
you again, it was 9 months for Anthony Jones and 5 years, 8 months for Falco. I left you a voicemail on October 20th at 11:45 a.m.
Sure.
Positive.
I didn't receive a call from him, but, all right. So, okay, one officer, Del Falco, been on the force for 5 years. Anthony Jones, 9 months. Okay, and it's been 37 days, and the mayor still yet to contact my office. 37 days. Last council meeting was 23. Now we're up to 37 days.
I was told that somebody from the mayor's office did contact you, man.
Not the mayor.
You said, the mayor or the mayor's
She
office?
contacted the mayor's office and asked to speak with him specifically 37 days
I know
ago.
someone from the mayor's office got back to her,
Who?
Kevin Jones.
Who?
Kevin Jones?
The gatekeeper? I mean, you laugh.
What,
I mean,
I can't laugh?
Huh? Yeah, I mean, you laugh as if that's funny. I mean, maybe you laugh as if
What'd you say it for?
that wasn't your aunt being disrespectful.
Excuse me?
It wasn't your aunt being disrespectful. He's put in a place specifically. He had a specific role. His role, what he does is go out throughout the city and he tells people, if you ever have a problem in New Brunswick, you give me a call. Hey, I'll take care of it. Because you know, they know the community knows he's affiliated with the man. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. Listen. And after a person, they have a legitimate concern or issue, they call him, he fusses them out. As if he never gave them the car and told them to call. This is what he does. He's been doing this for years. Anybody who ever had to call him, he'll fuss them out. That's why I consider him a gatekeeper. So that's not being, she's asked specifically for the mayor to speak with him. Now that's 37 days and he hasn't given a response. Now she's been disrespected. She's a lifelong resident, 7 years. She's never lived anywhere outside of New Brunswick. And she's been disrespected by an officer who's been on the force for 5.5 years. An officer who she has children the same age as. And also an officer, because Anthony Jones is not going to get a pass. He sat there and allowed it to continue. Regardless if he responded or not, I don't agree with that, I didn't say anything, so I'm not wrong. No, he sat there and allowed Del Falco to disrespect a 70-year-old lifelong resident. And they don't have 6 years on the force combined. And she requested to speak with the mayor, and he called somebody who she couldn't get in contact. If she would have got in contact with Kevin Jones, I wouldn't be here dealing with this issue. He avoided her phone calls. Then when I came to the council meeting and raised issues, he calls her in. But if he would have contacted her and did what he goes around telling people, call me when you got an issue, when they do that, she wouldn't know. Listen to me. She called him first before she called me. She called her nephew after she didn't get a response. She didn't call me first because she know I would have, regardless of what she said, I would have took offense to it. She wanted to do the right thing. She said, let me call him. Let me contact one city employee, and then let me contact Kevin Jones. Nothing ever happened. And then, as her last resort, she contacted her nephew. I wouldn't have been here. I was taking off. I was going to cut pricing you guys to 2017 because I was involved in other things. But if she had spoken with him and gave her some type of something, then I wouldn't be here. Now I got a ton of issues that are coming with it. But if he would have did the job, that's why I say he's a gatekeeper, and sometimes it backfires. Because if he's going to give us information out and tell people to call him, he should be man enough not to leave his phone home with full voicemails. Pick your phone up. It may be an emergency. It may be something serious. Don't just do that and then give people a throwaway phone number. This is serious. So I wouldn't be here. So you wouldn't be having to deal with me. So that's really why I said he's considered a gatekeeper. He's been doing it for years, and sometimes it works and sometimes it backfires. But the main issue is her being disrespected by officers who've been on the force for 6 years. Come on. That's a problem. In 37 days for a mayor not to, all she wants to do is speak with the mayor and address her concerns. He's playing Hollywood, 37 days. 37 days. I get it. I had a ton of questions, but I said my time right now, I'm going to be, kind of cordial and not take long. So,
Mr. Pickett, you're more than welcome to go.
Oh, thank you. All right. My question is, being that the demeanor aspect of Nicholas Del Falco and Anthony Jones, have they ever been through a psychic evaluation?
I believe all police officers, before they get hired, go through a psychic evaluation. Captain, you want to elaborate if I'm right or wrong?
Before they can start employment here, every officer has to pass a psychological evaluation, yes.
Afterwards. Before they get hired. I'm saying, say for instance, if an officer has a certain number of complaints,
Okay,
and
I got you. Captain, if there's any like on-the-job training or any more that they do for that type of thing?
And I'm not speaking about Anthony, Officer Jones or Officer DeFalco specifically, I'm talking in general. If an issue arises where it is determined that an officer needs to go back for a psychological evaluation, the psychological evaluation could be ordered. I can't speak about anyone specifically, that would be a HIPAA violation. So I can't speak about anyone's medical condition, but there could come a time where an officer would be ordered to go have an additional psychological evaluation while on the job.
Now, there's a certain amount of complaints that will lead up to that psychic evaluation, or just at the police department's discretion?
At the police department's discretion. It's not just, you have so many complaints, you go for a psychological evaluation.
Real quick, all right, then I'm done. It's already 7:30, guys. There was a community forum scheduled on October 28th, if I'm not mistaken, at the New Brunswick High School on Friday. What happened was a group of people, they got together to schedule a forum to discuss police issues. You know, a lot of times people complain that, you know, say for instance, if a police officer kills a black person, a lot of people's response is, well, what do the black people do when the black people kill each other? That's always like a response. And what people don't know is there's a lot that black people do. Like we hold forums, we hold different things to address certain issues, and this was one of them. So, you know, there was a community forum scheduled for October 28th, Friday, 6:30 p.m. Ed Spencer got permission from someone. It wasn't, I guess it was a word of mouth. It wasn't nothing on contract or on paper, but got permission from a person that said that they're allowed to have it. Now, I was supposed to be a panelist speaker. I was the last, there were 3 panelist speakers, I was one of them. I tell people sometimes, you know, because New Brunswick is afraid of me, like, you put me on a bill, it might not happen. You know, I don't compromise, so it's not smart to put me on a bill, but, you know, they did anyway, so I was supposed to be a panelist speaker. There were 2 other panelist speakers. And on that Thursday, they scheduled a walkthrough at the high school. So some gentlemen went up to the high school, they scheduled the walkthrough, they listened to the sound system. They, you know, did everything, showed them the area they would be speaking at and things of that nature. Then 2 hours after the walkthrough, they canceled the event. And now, as Spence states that it was the New Brunswick Police Department that called and canceled the event. When asked why was it canceled, they said because of the Diallo grant decision that came out Monday. The officers weren't even charged on the Diallo grant shooting the young man that was killed in New Brunswick. And they weren't charged, you know, so there were concerns about social media. There were concerns on social media about the police safety, so they canceled it. So my question is, which officer decided to cancel it, and what was it that they viewed on social media that warranted them to cancel an event, a community event?
Does anybody know why the event was? Yes, Captain.
I don't think the police department has the authority to cancel something that's at one of the schools. I know nothing about the police. I didn't hear anything about the police department canceling it. I will look into it, but I don't think.
Well, what happens is, you know, the police department is very strategic. What they'll do is they'll contact the principal and say, you know, we don't need to have this event. And then the principal counsel. So, which officer contacted the principal? And if someone from the department contacted the school and concerned that there may be a threat on a police officer, at least give the community what frightened them.
I think he just said that the police had nothing to do with it. Captain, do you know of anybody contacted?
I don't know of anyone that contacted it. Maybe
Maybe
that's something that should be brought up to the Board of Education and ask the
Could you
principal.
reach out to Ed Spence?
Okay,
And yeah, reach out to Ed Spence and ask him specifically who did he speak to?
okay, Captain, got it.
And if, what's the repercussion if there was no threat to it, if an officer canceled it and there was no threat towards an officer? Because here's the problem.
I can't answer that.
Here's the problem.
Okay.
Here's the problem I have. When black people are allowed to go into the schools, 9 times out of 10 they have to have a basketball. We can shoot jumpers all day long. We can have a DJ in there, and we can do that all day long. But when it's time to get the community to sit down and ask legitimate questions, sit on a panel, I'm not allowed to sit at a table with a glass of water and some statistics. I did a lot of research for that panel.
We don't know that for sure. I don't know that's a reason for sure.
Name a time.
What would be? There's nothing. I've seen you get an award at a school. I've seen they gave you an award.
That was by default.
What do you mean by
They didn't know it was
default?
coming.
No one got up and left. I got up and clapped for you. I know
It was
I want to
a
give yourself a lot of
Yeah.
praise, but I don't think it might not be you. I don't want to break your bubble, but it might not be you why it got canceled. Just you know, it might not be you. Might not be the reason.
So could we get to the bottom of it?
We are. We're gonna
Because
ask
the forum will be amazing. And this is the thing. I don't want it to just be, I'm not the guy, I don't want it to just be people talking about the problems, have an officer join. Have an officer give the perspective of what police
Let's
officers
just
do.
listen, you're going for one thing, let's just find out what happened, we'll find out for you what happened. We're gonna get to ask the questions and be here next meeting.
Get to me next week.
Yes.
Who's organizing the event?
Yes, go ahead.
Because I didn't know. If it's
The,
community, we should know.
the local organizing committee, the LOC, that's an organization, I think it's derived out of the Nation Islam. Yes, it is derived out of the Nation Islam, and they're doing the community forums and things of that nature. And,
Because I have done it before, my healing, the National Peace Lab, they have done forums and panels.
Yeah.
Because I was part of it at once, so
Yeah,
I don't
but-
think it's a matter of to see what happened, and if the permits were done, if the insurance were, because it's a process that needs to happen.
now, when
That's
you
the
did it with them, was my
organization.
name, was our panelist speaking? No.
Actually, I didn't even know you were invited, but you were there. Were you there? I don't remember
No.
if you were there.
If I probably showed up, but I wasn't a panelist speaker, trust me. But, yeah, please go to the bottom.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else like to address the council this evening? Anyone else like to address the council?
Motion.
Anyone? Motion to adjourn. Can I have a second?
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Escobar.
Yes.
Council Vice President Fleming.
Yes.
Council President Egan.
Yes.